Practical applications of spiritual stuff. In this module, you will learn some interesting things about how you can use spiritual principles to make your life easier. Have you ever used the parking space angel? You will also learn how to protect yourself against bad vibes and why you can feel these bad vibes. How can you protect yourself against crime anywhere in the world? I'm sure you'll find that useful. We all want to make our lives and our future better. I'll give you some useful techniques for doing that. Do you know what gut feel is? We learn more about where in your body you have brain cells and what you use them for. And here's a tough one. We always get into challenging situations, whether they are sticky relationships, work stress, health issues, or other challenges. Surely if you are spiritual enough, you can avoid these situations. Or can't you? We'll explore that. Firstly, using the parking space angel. Did you know there is a parking space angel? Yes, there is such a thing. Or maybe not. I like to think of the phenomenon as the work of an angel, purely because it's so much easier for me to understand and use this. Let me ask you, have you ever used the parking space angel? When I want to go into a busy shop or shopping center where I've been before, I set my intention of getting a parking space where I want it when I reach my destination. I then drive there, and invariably the parking space is there waiting for me as I ordered. It's important to set your intention. When you leave home, be quiet for a few seconds and imagine the perfect parking space where you are heading. Make the picture as clear as possible in your mind. Then go to your destination. You may get instructions along the way in the form of thoughts. For example, slow down. Turn right here in the parking garage and there will be an empty parking space towards the end of the row on your left. How does that happen? Remember, in Module 2 we refer to spiritual laws and the law of attraction. When you order a parking space, this is simply a means of setting your intention. This focuses your mind and you attract to yourself what you envisaged. Question for you. Do you believe in the saying, seeing is believing? Or do you think it's the other way around, believing is seeing? You're aware of the saying, seeing is believing. The assumption is that you will only believe what is materialized already because you can see the proof. Can you see the flaw in this assumption? If you want to first see and then believe, you make it clear that you have doubts. That means what you would like to materialize will also take longer because you add the obstacle of doubt. There's another problem with that saying. If you really feel that seeing is believing, then you are proven wrong daily. Think of something, anything, that you've never seen before in person, but you've heard about its existence. Are you going to tell me that you will only believe that an elephant or a sphinx or the Victoria Falls exist once you've seen them with your own eyes? Gotcha. Seeing is believing doesn't really work. There's another element to this which indicates a flaw in the argument. The parable of the blind men who first encountered an elephant is recorded in Buddhist, Hindu, and Jain texts. Here it is. A group of blind men heard that a strange animal called an elephant had been brought to town, but none of them were aware of its shape and form. They were curious and they wanted to inspect the animal using their hands. They were taken to the elephant and placed around the animal. The first person felt the trunk and he said, "This being is like a thick snake." Another man felt the elephant's ear and believed an elephant is like a kind of fan. The man who felt the elephant's leg said the elephant is a pillar like a tree trunk. The blind man who felt the elephant's side said the elephant is like a wall. The man who felt its tail described it as a rope. The last blind man felt its tusk and said that the elephant is hard, smooth, and like a spear. They saw with their hands, and each man believed their own version. However, if you turn the saying around and say, believing is seeing, then you are closer to the truth. Remember, we live in a universe that consists of energy waves. The waves only turn into particles when we add consciousness. There's a brilliant example in the movie What the Bleep Do We Know? You can find it on YouTube and it's worth watching, where a ship approaches an island. The islanders cannot see the ship even though it's larger than life, simply because they had never seen a ship. However, the medicine man had a heightened state of awareness and he was able to see the ship and describe it to his people, and only then did they see the ship. You are bombarded with many millions of thoughts every waking moment, but only around 2,000 thoughts enter your consciousness and become real. The more you focus on something, the more the thoughts resonating with that item comes into your awareness until the item materializes. So when you focus on getting the parking space that you want, you create a version of reality. The more you focus on it, the more real it becomes. You're not taking anything away from anyone when you order that parking space. Instead, you create a parallel universe when the parking space is waiting for you. You should try this a few times and see how easy it is. Then you can apply the same principles to something slightly bigger and see how your belief and your consciousness contributes to the experience. You'll discover that the biggest obstacles between you and what you want are your own emotions. What prevents you from getting the job that you want? Is it fear of failure? Or maybe a sense of hopelessness? Do you feel you aren't worthy? Or is it a different emotion? I'm just using a job as an example that everyone can associate with. You can apply the same principles to anything you want, including having a wonderful relationship or even winning the lottery. Using the parking space angel is just the beginning.